fairgrounds, home to tractor pulls, livestock judging, pie eating contests. And in Lawrence, you can add felony trials to that list. If that seems a bit out of place, on that point, prosecutors and a defense attorney agree. In fact, they point to a Douglas County rape conviction and its broken record as a good example of why.
They are the silent historians of any trial. Court reporters quietly recording testimony, argument, rulings from the bench. The courtroom history that is on the record becomes the record, critical to any appeal.
I was horrified.
Horrified when, after a jury convicted her client, Eric Agwangi, of felony rape, defense attorney Sarah Swain opened the record to find the courtroom history incomplete.
I have never seen a record where hundreds and thousands of words, any one of which could give this man a new trial, are just gone or missing.
Missing from all 4 days of the trial, according to a motion seeking an appeal delay. Gaps labeled unintelligible more than 4,500 times. Entire passages labeled inaudible 28 times over the trial's first 2 days alone.
I just know that there were times when in those trials when, I'm trying to take notes and I was having a hard time hearing what people were saying.
Deputy Douglas County District Attorney Josh Seiden prosecuted Agwangi. If he couldn't hear, Seiden is convinced a court reporter likely couldn't either.
Point one, do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
That bad acoustics plus masked attorneys in a pandemic trial equaled a broken record.
The concern that we had in this office was it's going to be challenging to try a case in that sort of venue.
The fairgrounds venue, as outlined in jury plan protocols ordered by the Douglas County District Court in October of 2020. 2 buildings with room for social distancing during jury selection, conferencing, and a trial itself.
I had seen the fairgrounds.
Elected Douglas County prosecutor just days after the protocols were released, Suzanne Valdez raised security, technology, and logistical concerns, urging trials remain in the decorum of the courthouse.
Whether we could just revisit those protocols and whether we could either make changes to current courtrooms temporarily in the building, or at least put these cases off, the more serious cases off, until we could go into the courtroom safely, perhaps even try lower level cases to see if those would work out okay at the fairgrounds.
And you were told?
Well, I was told that this is what we were going to do and we were going to go forward.
With trials resuming in April of 2021, a judge denied the DA's motion to delay a separate attempted murder case. No delay was sought for Agwangi. In May of that year, a jury convicted him of raping a family friend staying with he and his wife.
Your client couldn't get a fair trial at the fairgrounds?
There's no way, I don't believe that there's any way that a person can get a fair trial in a makeshift courtroom.
But in a written statement, Lawrence defense attorney Adam Hall tells Fox 4 News that while the fairgrounds were not designed for court proceedings, the 366-page record in a felony case he tried had no unintelligible speech or inaudible gaps. While he wouldn't go on camera, Hall praised the court for providing his client a speedy and public trial. Chief Judge James McCabery, who issued the protocols, and senior court reporter Mary Kay Howe also declined our requests for on-camera interviews. But in a joint statement, they argue the Agwangi case was isolated and the broken record due to the court reporter having some personal issues, not acoustics. She quit without producing a transcript. So using a courtroom recording that wasn't very good, an outside transcriptionist tried to rebuild the record. A better recording was later discovered, and the court says remaining passages were mostly restored.
Well, I'm hopeful that this conviction stands.
Meantime, prosecutor Seiden worried a broken record could mean Agwangi's conviction is thrown out, a second trial ordered.
We just think that it would be extremely traumatic for any victim to have to go through that again.
The good news, she won't. Over the past few months, attorneys on both sides have been working together to mostly repair the record, and they now agree it is no longer broken. The Kansas Court of Appeals has relaunched the appellate process. As for the victim, she's moved out of state and through the prosecutor's office declined our request for comment. The defendant remains behind bars in a Kansas prison, awaiting his appeal to move forward. John Holt, Fox 4 News, working for you.